Hey, good morning. BJ and Joe Ondo out and about on the Recumbents, and we are on the Rock Island Trail, and we're just for an easy cruise today because well, it's going to be a scorcher. It's going to be 92 plus Fahrenheit today, with very little chance of any rain. So like I said, it's going to be a scorcher today. Also doing a little experimenting. Basically, I mounted I have a older GoPro4, and I've found a bicycle, what they call a bicycle handlebar mount, and I've mounted it to my my T-brace, as I call it, Space Saver T-brace, whatever you want, accessory holder, whatever you want to call it. And what I'm going to start doing is, I don't really like the idea of doing a handheld when I'm going down, really steep inclines. It's kind of having to, make one brake overwork really badly. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to shoot the most of the video on the old GoPro 6 here, handheld, but on the downhills, the big downhills, I'm gonna see what the 4 will do and see how bad the vibration is, because the 5 and above GoPro cameras have EIS, which is a electronic instrument stabilization system. Okay, so but the original, the Hero, the original Hero, the Hero 1, Hero 2, Hero 3, and Hero 4, as far as I could figure out by going through the menu, they don't have EIS. They don't have a stabilization program. So I'm gonna shoot the downhill, and if this mount, if it's so bad, the vibration is so bad, you really can't tell what's going on in the video, then I'll go ahead and send the GoPro 4 to my niece in Texas for their family, and then I'll pick up another 5, 5, 6, 7. If I pick up anything better than a 6, then I'll take my current main camera and put that up front here, mount that up front, and but if if it's a 5, then I'll just go ahead and mount it up front. But say hi, Joe.
Hi.
But yeah, so that's what we're doing today, because there's a up on the north part of the Rock Island, before it ends at Powers Boulevard currently, there's a couple of really good downhill grades, so we'll test out the 4 on those. We'll just basically shut down the 6 and try that, because it'd be a lot safer. I'd be able to keep my hands on and be able to use both brakes going downhill. I said we're on the Rock Island Trail, and normally we go underneath Circle Drive, but they've got it blocked off for quite a while. Seems kind of funny because it really hasn't rained for several days. Go ahead and go around. Okay. Got a bike back there. Try to get up here so he can get by us old farts here. I need to shift up to a higher gear. Okay, I'm going to go down here. Have a good one. But Yeah, now the difference you'll notice, of course, is that the scenes being shot by the 4, of course, will not have you know, well, they won't have stabilization, but they also, there won't be any real you won't be able to hear any talking. So those scenes I'll just put to music. But yeah, well, today's Monday, so 28th according to Joe. But if you're having to work, well, I hope you're having an okay day at work. And if you're not having to work, I hope you're having a really okay day. Maybe you can get out and put a few miles on the trike. If not, well, just kind of kick back and enjoy yourself as much as possible. Before it gets too hot, you might try to get out for a good walk. We took a walk yesterday. We could have rode yesterday. It was plenty hot, but it was almost too hot. It was like 95 plus yesterday. So what we did is we got up a little early. We took a good hike, 4-mile hike up to Panera Bread. We had lunch, and then we caught an air-conditioned city bus. Howdy? On the way back. So that worked out really good. Gave us a little bit of rest, because I don't know about you all, but I've noticed on the demographics page of my YouTube page, it basically telling me that I have nobody under like 55 years old supposedly watching these videos. There's nothing in anything but this, you know, the senior category. So if you're like us, I don't know what your age is, but I'll be 70 here in a week, August 5th. And Joe turned 70 last December 3rd. And but we both noticed that the heat's starting to affect us a lot more as we get older, especially if it climbs over 85. We're okay up to 85. Once it starts climbing over 85, we become hurting units. And, you know, that's a Colorado that's a Colorado 95, which is nowhere near as terrible feeling as you know, like a Wichita, Kansas 95, because you also usually have 95% humidity, and usually if we're this hot and dry, we're dry. You know, humidity is clear down into the teens. You know, like between 10 and basically between 10 and 20%. Okay, well, we're up to Shelton Road here. Yeah, one bad thing about the Rock Island, lots of crossings. But most of them now have lights, so that's good. The only problem is some of these crossings take a long time. And yeah, technically we could go, but we don't have the crosswalk signal, and since we're being in the crosswalk, we need to abide by the crosswalk signal. That way, if somebody decides to try to take us out, we can sue them into oblivion. I know that sounds terrible, but you know, we need both of us healthy, you know, to get our meager Social Security retirement incomes. And So, you know, if one of us was hurt, you know, we wouldn't have the money to you know, take care of the hospital bills and stuff. Because, you know, even in the really good program we're on, which is called PACE, Rocky Mountain PACE, they have PACE in different parts of the United States. We have the Rocky Mountain version. And, but, you know, if you're in a accident with a car, not an accident, it would be a crash. If they hit us, it's not an accident they hit us. They hit us because either they didn't give a damn whether we're there or not, or they just don't care. Because there's a lot of auto drivers out there that you know, their attitude is, hey, I have a 5,000-pound car, you know, so you better not get in my way for any reason. You don't have any right-of-ways. So yeah, I know. Now, I would expect that most of you folks that are watching this video that ride a recumbent trike or a recumbent bike and also drive, you have a bit more respect and a bit more courtesy when it comes to, you know, bicycles, trikes, that kind of thing, you know, in the traffic pattern. You actually watch out for them, which, you know, your regular driver, that just doesn't happen. Okay, well, we're coming up on a really busy intersection here. This is Academy Boulevard. That's another one of the 6-lane north and south roads. They have a lot of 6-lane north and south roads in this town. Not as many east and west. The roads east and west seem to be more 4-lane if they're big, you know. And in this city, unless you're like in a housing area, you rarely see a 2-way road, you know, or, you know, 2 lanes, you know, one this way, one that way. Those are pretty rare unless you're in a housing area. The town has gotten pretty darn big. Straight, I think. Yeah, it's only 10 o'clock. We'll catch it on the way back. Howdy. When it turns green, go ahead, because we're really slow.
Alrighty.
But yeah, like I said, this is one of those real long waits, unless you catch it just right, which is pretty rare. Yeah, it looks like we might get a bit more cloud cover today, so that'd be kind of nice just because the sun's pretty intense when it gets up to 90. You too. Oh, careful. Yeah, I do admire, you know, the regular cyclists that can use clip-on, you know, clip-in pedals and shoes, you know, because I could never do it when I rode a 2-wheeler. I'd never get my foot down fast enough to not hit the ground. Joe and I both always use toe clips, you know. They'd either be the half clips or the full clips. Usually if we were riding, you know, our road bikes, you know, which were basically the flat handlebar road bikes, we had full clips with straps. Now the whole secret is we don't sink down the straps, you know, because the racers in the old days, when they had the toe clips and straps, you know, when they were racing, they tightened up those straps as tight as they could do it, you know, so they wouldn't lose any. They wouldn't lose any pressure against the pedal, you know. But you know, since we're not racing, we just kind of decided to, you know, leave the straps loose enough to where we could pull our foot out easily. But it always did the job, you know, because we were, you know, feet never came out. And you know, on the mountain bikes we used what they call half clips, half toe clips. They don't have the strap, you know. They're just a kind of a wide clip meant to hold your feet on, which on a mountain bike is actually a pretty good thing, because I got to tell you, there's a lot of times when you know, you're being bounced around on the rocks that it's a little tough to you know, you got to get that foot down right away, or you end up sideways into a rock wall or something. So I mean, I know a lot of, you know, you guys and gals, you know, might do mountain biking and you might be able to use full clips. I mean, you know, the click-in pedals and shoes. And if you can, then I salute you, because ain't no way. Of course, you know, I mean, I was not the world's best mountain biker. I was pretty much a charter member of the Over the Bars Club. And because I went over the bars several times. There was a couple times I actually rolled down hills. Got lucky though, never got seriously hurt. Yeah, bruise here and there, but that was it. And then I tried, when I went to work for a bike shop called the Bikery as an apprentice mechanic for a couple of years. Basically, the owner and I, Phil, great guy, I hope he's still alive and okay, but we joined NORBA, which back then was the National Off-Road Bicycle Association, and we went to mountain bike racing, and some dummy here hit the bollard. I'm gonna let Joe go over there. Yeah, it's nice that they put this lighted crossing in here now, I'll tell you. Okay, Joe. Howdy. Yeah, I know you guys have heard it a million times, but it's just such an improvement. I mean, it's such an improvement. Well, like I said, today is Monday. It's the 28th. So sad to see July end so soon. This will probably be our last ride till later in the week, because, well, starting tomorrow, basically Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we have really high chances for heavy rain. You know, 70 and 80%, you know. Now, sometimes, you know, the rain won't start till later, and, you know, but you never know. So, you know, we got to go with the weather, even if it doesn't quite pan out. Either that, or, you know, get up literally at the crack of dawn, or actually before. You know, get up about 5 a.m. and head out by about 6:30, you know. I have to eat some kind of breakfast. And yeah, I'll tell you, it's getting hot already. And it's just a little after 10 o'clock. I mean, it's stroking. I got a grasshopper. Check this out. Got a hitchhiker. Get out of there. Okay. Gives me a chance to get a drink of water. Now, as you can see, I've got a double water bottle holder. And now TerraCycle, a company called TerraCycle, they make a lot of special attachments and stuff for bicycles. Well, for trikes rather. And they also make pulley wheels and quite a few other little gadgets, you know. They have a really nice double water bottle carrier. It's expensive at $50, but basically it's nice because it will actually, tilt the bottles towards you, and you can put it at an angle and stuff. And but since there's two of us, that's $100, not counting shipping, and didn't have it, so I figured out a way to make my own. I took a simple $2.75 L bracket, a galvanized L bracket, and I hooked it up to the water bottle mounts on the frame on the ice, and as you can see, it's not quite straight. The bottles don't line perfectly up. That's because the holes that come drilled already in the L bracket are just a little off from each other, but it's not enough to where you can't use it. Now there's the GoPro4 mounted right up front on the bike. I guess you call this my dashboard here. Starting to get an awful lot of junk on it, but so we'll see how that works for the downhill camera, as we'll call it. Howdy. And howdy. He had a helmet mount camera. I don't like the helmet mount cameras because when you're on, you don't realize how much you twitch your head. You're not conscious of how much. So, howdy. There's a lot of quick movements, all over the place, with mounting your camera. Plus, too, I can't get the angles like this, or this, or that, or even this. So that's what I really like about the handheld, because you can get different angles and stuff with it. Howdy. And sorry about all the andas. I don't know why I do that. It's just a habit. And we were talking about the angles, so lots of different angles, I can shoot like, a face shot, forward, or if I want to get to, just right over my shoulder. the over the head backward shot. But that way, you know, you get a better overall perspective of the trail itself, you know. Okay, well, this is going to be the first test of the downhill camera.
Stop here.
Yeah. So we're going to stop here at our little bench stop. Actually, I'm going to stop right here, and I'll go ahead and go in. So our little bench stop here. Sometimes, you know, if it's like a late ride, you know, we might even actually eat lunch here, you know. So, but yeah, all right. We shall return. Okay, so we're back here. Got to get over this hump here. That's be nice if they'd, make that transition a little easier. But so that's basically the end of the trail back there at Powers Boulevard. There is an access road that you can take down so far towards Palmer Park Boulevard, and do it that way. But that makes for a long ride because you got to go clear up the other side and then way back in before you can get to the other side of Powers. Now someday, I thought they were supposed to get started here pretty soon, but with all the money they're losing because the current administration, for bicycle trails. Howdy. Hello. They may not have the money to even do those kind of projects for a while. Don't know. All right, you can see we got the back on the concrete. Yeah, that's another one of those things about the city. They love to do that. They'll put a trail together and they'll concrete it so far, and then they won't do it for the rest of the way, which is really dumb because it gets real, when it rains, it gets real muddy and creepy and, over there. So it'd be nice if they go ahead and finish it out. Eventually, like I said, what they're going to do is they're going to make a bike lane down the access road heading south along Powers Boulevard, and then somewhere they're going to be either building a bridge to go over Powers Boulevard, or they're going to tunnel underneath. So we're going to go back. I'll be turning this camera off here in just a minute, but and then we're going to do the downhill with the GoPro4 and see how it works, because you get going fast enough on this. The downhill is a little bit more fierce this way, but yeah, you may hear a little bit of my talking or something because I don't have the I forgot to shut off the video for the GoPro4. The in-camera video. Okay, so we're going to put away the 6 now and switch over to the 4, and we'll pick you back up once we get to the bottom. This is kind of the short downhill, and then there's a really long downhill on the other side. All right, bye for now. All right, should be recording. Okay, Joe. squirting. Okay, Joe. Okay, we're back. So we're now back on the GoPro 6, being handheld. As you can tell by the gratuitous Joe shot. Passing on your left, thank you. Yeah, as you can tell, this is it's concrete, but it's not smooth. But it's much older concrete. This part of the trail has been concrete for a long time. Yeah, you get more, bit more view of the mountains when you're heading west, of course. I gotta switch here and try to gear up one, but my trike is not the world's safest trike for that. There we go. Yeah, like I said, we're still waiting to see if we're, to get the new ball joints for both our trikes. I don't know, like I said. I may tell them that I think Angletech is trying to save us the shipping cost, because they got to come from England, save us the shipping cost by placing it with an order that they put in for a ice full fat which is the fat tire trike by ICE, which is Inspired Cycle Engineering, ICE. So that's where the name comes from. But yeah, we're still waiting. It's been a couple of months, so I don't understand why it has to take so long. Ow, sorry, just got nailed by a grasshopper. Sorry, I had to use my chin and push the adapter receiver unit back into its holder a little bit. Yeah, because what it is, it's got like a rectangle body about probably 2 inches long. The actual GoPro 6 adapter for wireless mic, and then you have the receiver part of the wireless mic also sticking out, but it hooks, basically there's a wire that comes out of the end of the adapter that plugs into your camera. And the problem with that is that it kind of bows at an angle. So to be able to, and the only place you can mount a holder, and they don't have the holder on this is homemade, but oh, excuse me. Wow, didn't mean to do that to you guys. Let Joe come up and hit the buttons here. We're back at the intersection. She didn't get why. Now I'm going uphill. I gotta go back so I can get going again. Okay, come on, bike. Come on, go. Man, I'm in too high a gear. All right. But yeah, so now we're heading over to the Maverick station. Get ourselves a large unsweetened iced tea, because just being out here in this weather, this hot weather, means we deserve it. But we'll take you along this trail till we get to Academy Boulevard, and then we'll sign off for at least long enough to get across, because we have to cross one way and then cross the other, Academy Boulevard. And then what we'll do is we'll hook it on into the Maverick off of the Academy Boulevard path, as I'll call it. I want to make that the end of the video, because the other stuff, of course, you guys have seen a lot. Sorry about that. Another grasshopper. We have terrible grasshoppers starting, about mid-July, and they just get worse to, basically till about October. There's sometimes, man, the trail will be covered with grasshoppers. Yeah, because of I'm about 50, well, I am 50 pounds, maybe 55 pounds heavier than Jolene is. So on the downhills, I kind of chase right after her, boy. She runs out of steam, and I'm still going. I haven't even started pedaling yet. But yeah, like I said, we're coming up on Academy Boulevard. So we'll jump off for a little bit, let you go in and, you know, we usually do our videos at night. So we need to go in to get some popcorn and a soda, okay? Or iced tea or whatever, you know. Or, you know, if you indulge, a beer. You know, the beer. And come on back. And we'll bring you some more. All right. We'll be back. Okay, well, we got across Academy Boulevard. Now we're heading up what I call the Academy Boulevard path. And I think they did this so you could come off of the street back there is Constitution. So that intersection is Constitution and Academy. And this this path goes all the way to Maysland Road or Drive, whichever one it is. And then right across Maysland is Palmer Park, the city park called Palmer Park. And so I think that's why they decided to make this particular double wide path, because it doesn't go past the park. On the other, if you cross the street on Maysland and Academy, on the other side, heading north, it's just a regular, you know, single wide sidewalk. So that's like, and you know, we've used it because, of course, you know, only an idiot would ride a bicycle or a trike on Academy Boulevard. Right now it's lunchtime, so people are getting towards lunchtime. So a lot of people, either it's 11 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, but so they either, you know, haven't left for lunch yet, or they're at lunch now, so they can, you know, have the 11 to 12, and then you have kind of the 12 to 1 crew. So in probably, you know, like half an hour, the road, Academy Boulevard out there will be a lot busier. As you can see, it just kind of wanders. It does this weird little zigzag back and forth, you know. But like I said, we're heading up to the Maverick convenience station because they have an excellent price on iced tea. Their drinks, period. A large is only, with tax, $1.62 or something like that. You know, and it's a big large. It's more than enough for both Joe and I, so we just split a large instead of, you know, getting a couple of mediums, and it's a lot cheaper that way. They do have an extra large, man. It's like a bucket, you know. Wouldn't want to drink that much tea. But hey, thanks for coming along, and shout out to our subscribers. Thank you very much. If you're new, welcome. Welcome to the channel. We'd love to have you as a subscriber. So please subscribe, like, and share. Please share our videos with anybody that you might think might have an interest. We would really appreciate that. So yeah, so we're now here at the Maverick station, and unless they took them back out again. They actually put a couple of the outdoor tables back, so hopefully we'll be able to use those. But we could go inside if we absolutely needed to, because they have big picture windows looking out towards the patio, so if nothing else we can see our flags. Alright, okay, we're gonna go get some grub. Bye. Okay, sorry for the stop. Hold on just a second. Yeah, I forgot to turn on my mic, which I'm sure you'll notice, because I'm going to be talking at you and you're not going to hear anything. Okay, well, as I said before, thanks for coming along for the ride. And hopefully you guys will get better weather for the rest of the week than we will. Now we're talking 80 to 90% chance of rain each day for the next 3 days minimum. Our monsoon season, which seems to get longer every year, which is really weird. It used to be from the middle of July, or say like the second weekend in July. Howdy? Or more like the second week of July all the way to the end of the first week in August. And then it'd be hot and dry, but it's kind of changed over the years. Howdy? And it's kind of gone the other way. It's started sooner and stayed around till almost September, so, which is a real bummer. So yeah, we'll sometime, because we'll get cabin fever and we'll end up having to get wet and go for a ride anyway. But yeah, if you're watching and you're from around Colorado Springs, Monument, Palmer Lake, Fountain, Colorado, and then of course out towards the east, Falcon and those areas, and then the areas off of, I can't think of the first town in off of Highway 94, but we belong to the Pikes Peak Pikes Peak Region Recumbent Network. It's on Facebook, but it's not a true Facebook group, and it's not a club. It's just basically a virtual network for all the recumbent riders, bike or trike, in our area. And so if you happen to be in our area, please join us. And because what I like to do is I set up what they call a meet and eat. Basically, I'll pick a restaurant someplace, and I will let you know where it's going to be, what time to be there, and then you pick your own route and head on over, and we can have a little socialization via trike. And but yeah, I'm sorry, it's not really set up for like out of town or out of state folks, because it's just a local thing. If it was a club or an actual organization, we'd probably open it up to everybody, but kind of make it's a little easier if we just kind of keep it for this area, because it's just a network. Basically, we have one gentleman, our other I'm an administrator for the site, howdy, and then another gentleman named Larry. Sorry, Larry, I forgot your last name. I do that a lot. But he's also the director on the Laid Back Bike Report on YouTube. So if you ever watch those guys, they got the main guy, and then they've got I think it's Trevor out of somewhere south, I think, and then they also have, of course, the famous Hanzagawa from Azub, or Azub, however you want to pronounce it. Nobody can give me the correct pronunciation, or they think their version is the correct pronunciation. He does the Recumbent News, and he also has a site called Recumbent News. If you want to know what's happening out in the recumbent world, racing and rides and etc., etc. And that does include the, as they say it in Europe, the velomobile, or sorry, my tongue is getting tired. All right, well, that's enough of that prattle. Yeah, so please join us. If you happen to be in our area. And if you just happen to be in our area, happen to be in Colorado Springs itself, and you want a couple of strange, weird people to ride with, Joe and I would be happy to take you out for a little spin in our little neck of the woods, as they say, and show you the places to get a good hot dog and maybe some barbecue, and just give you a little tour. All right. So I think I'm going to go ahead and end here. So from BJ Ondo and Joe Ondo, out and about on the recumbents, where else would we be? Till we see you next time, happy trails. Bye.